The young warriors of Harold's Land stared daggers into Nathan Hayfield from across the massive party hall. Nathan closed his eyes as spiritual energy pooled around his eardrums, and he was able to make out their voices over the ambient beats of the festive music.
"Who's that strange young warrior over there? He's not from Harold's Land like us, is he? Must be a local Godricslander. I don't think he went to the academy with us. I heard he's the son of a fallen noble, a weak clan known as House Hayfield. Apparently, they're on the verge of losing their noble title altogether." "What? So you're saying he'll be nothing more than a commoner in a couple of days? What's he doing here then?" "I heard House Hayfield has to face up against the High House Raven in a series of challenge duels. Perhaps they're here to try to get close to the Lightstones and declare themselves as vassals to them." "Huh. What a leech, then, if that's the case. The weak ought to leave the strong alone at a time like this."
Nathan balled his hands into a fist as he listened to the whispered words from across the room.
"Those fools. Well, no matter. At least they don't actually know about Boris or Hagar. Otherwise, I suspect they'd all be lining up to fight me if they knew what really happened this morning."
It was true that amongst the aristocratic offspring present at the party, Nathan and Amelia were perhaps the least revered. Although they were still nobles, many of the youths present in the Lightstone's mansion were from prominent houses in Harold's Land that boasted hundreds of attendants and many legendary warriors in the prime of their lives. Many of the youths were here because of their close friendships with Donna Lightstone, but many others were present only to compete for her affection. House Lightstone was a powerful ally to have, and many Harold's Land houses encouraged their young men to grow close to her for political ramifications. Now that these young men were in Donna's presence, they wished to prove their might and strength in front of her, and saw Nathan as a potential threat. Nathan opened his eyes as he heard the footsteps of 3 particularly hot-blooded youths who strode up with a desire to test him. Nathan tried his best not to roll his eyes or chuckle at their appearances.
"Ha! These poor little fools are puffed up like peacocks. Each one of them must imagine themselves gallant warrior fighting to defend Donna's honor, but in reality, they just look ridiculous." Clearly, the 3 boys had been drinking wine throughout the night, building up the courage to ask for Donna's favor. Now that Nathan had disturbed their concentration, they sought to take out their anxious energy on him. Nathan knew that if it came to it, he'd go easy on them, considering how pathetically weak their spiritual fighting levels actually appeared to be. "Hey, you, Godricslander. I've never seen you before. What are you doing here?" The 3 boys stopped short of Nathan as he yawned and turned away from them. He could feel them jeering at him from over his shoulder. "What's wrong there, fellow? Too chicken to even face us like a man? What's a spineless coward like you doing in the noble halls of a family like this?" Nathan simply reached for a pastry on a silver tray and took a bite. His soul had already lived a long adult life in his past world and had matured beyond such childish behavior. Some harmless banter meant nothing to him. Nathan went to grab another pastry when the leader of the group smacked it out of his hands and got up in Nathan's face. "Are you deaf? I've spoken to you thrice now, and I won't speak to you again before my blade is drawn. I'll not have you disgrace Lady Lightstone with your low-born stench." Nathan sighed and turned to properly face the group of young men for the first time. "I'm simply minding my own business, and I suggest you mind yours as well. At the very least, go bump chests with another young buck looking to impress. I've no interest in you." "Oh yeah? But what if I have interest in you, knave?" Nathan frowned as the red-faced leader's arm went to his sword hilt. He hated the thought of having to hospitalize any more friends of the Lightstones, but he knew he couldn't stand there and let the fool run him through. As Nathan crouched into a defensive stance,
He waited for the leader to draw his blade. Instead, a figure came up behind the leader and grabbed his sword arm. "Oh, no. I wouldn't do that if I were you." The anger in the leader's face drained immediately as he turned to see Hagar Haraldson beside him. In a matter of seconds, all three youths bowed their heads toward the heir apparent of their fiefdom.
"My lord Hagar, I'm sorry, sire. I didn't recognize you. But what has happened? You walk slowly now and wince from the pain."
"A riding accident, that is all. However, I would strongly recommend you boys leave this one here alone. I know him well, and it's best if you don't." Reluctantly, the youths nodded toward Hagar and abruptly turned away from Nathan, puffing up their chests as they went off in search of other ways to prove their toughness, bitterly whispering about Nathan's lucky break. Nathan sighed as Hagar smiled at him.
"Nice to see you again, Nathan Hayfield. It's been forever, hasn't it?"
"Several hours, at least. How are your wounds mending?"
"Your sister's bandages and healing poultice worked wonders. Since then, I've been chugging back vials of basic healing potions and praying to the heavens that I'll stop coughing up blood soon."
"Apologies for that. Your kinsman's words hit a nerve, and now that it is over, I regret how harsh I was with you about rushing to his aid."
"Nonsense. Think no more of it.
Boris had a boating accident and is recovering nicely with the healers." "Thank you, Hagar. I'm actually quite glad to have you here, as I barely know anybody."
"Oh, really? You're in luck then, because I know almost everybody. Come along with me."
Hagar threw a hand over Nathan's shoulder and led him towards the center of the room. The three hot-headed youths shied away from them as they passed.
"Thick-headed fools. I hope you don't mind me saving their lives. After all, I doubt you're in the mood to fight more Haraldslanders already."
I don't mind at all. Thank you for that. I'll consider it as a part of my birthday present to the host." Both of them knew that had Hagar not intervened, the party would have been horrendously disrupted, since Nathan would have had no other choice but to strike the three fools down. Donna Lightstone's 18th birthday party would have never recovered from the scandal, so Nathan was relieved he didn't have to cause a scene and further strain his relationship with the Lightstones before he could give them their gift.
Here, let's sit here and rest a minute. I'm wiped out from this morning. Have a drink with me. Here, allow me. I ought to pour a drink for the man who floored me with a single strike."
Nathan smiled as he sat across from Hagar and accepted a goblet of spiced mead from him. Together, they listened to the bards play and sipped on the delicious brew. Nathan was surprised by Hagar's easygoing nature. Despite the severe wounds to his chest, Hagar laughed and joked as if there had never been any bad blood between them.
"Cheers to living on to fight another day, hopefully against someone weaker than you."
Cheers." Hagar took a long chug of his mead, then wiped his mouth and wagged his finger at Nathan.
"I've asked around about you, Nathan, and I must say, you're a mystery. What a low-country noble's son from the middle of nowhere being so strong and confident."
"What can I say? I train hard."
"Impressively hard from the looks of it. My father's men have told me all about your training. At least they found one woman from your town who claimed to know a lot about you."
Nathan laughed and nearly gagged on his mead.
"Hilda Moonweaver certainly loves to claim she knows things about me. She had a few good things to say, I hope." "She certainly was impressed with your performance during the spiritual warrior examinations. Something about how you made her a lot of money at the gambling stalls. Called you a champion plucked straight from the heavens and sent down here to make her rich."
"Hilda does love to over-exaggerate." Hagar leaned forward with a serious expression for the first time.
"Oh, I don't think she's exaggerating at all. With your strength, I don't think you'll have any trouble at all beating the High Lord Raven's house during the challenge. I think, in a few days, your title will be Nathan son of the High Lord Hayfield." "Oh, really? You'd be in the minority then. Most people I listen to think I'm headed straight for the poorhouse."
"To hell with what they say. I'm saying you will win, and I wish to support you in this. Obviously, I can't send my men into the fray, but should you need anything at all, you need only say the word."
After this, Hagar took a deep gulp of mead and finished off his goblet. Nathan nodded at Hagar and smiled at his sincerity. Perhaps they could become allies after all. Nathan looked deeply at Hagar as he brushed clean the whiskers growing around his lip that would one day form a hardy beard. He searched Hagar's soul for any ill intent, but found nothing there. "I appreciate your friendship, Hagar. I will let you know if I need to call upon your help." Nathan offered out a hand to Hagar, and as Hagar shook his hand, Nathan released the Asura weakening aura spell that had cursed Hagar since this morning. A burst of wind washed over them out of nowhere, and Hagar almost jolted out of his seat as his eyes widened in shock. Suddenly, his shoulders relaxed, and he seemed far more comfortable than he had been previously. His movements were far less stiff, and the creases on his brow began to soften. "Don't fret. I just helped you out is all. Your wounds ought to heal up even faster now." Hagar smiled devilishly towards Nathan as he refilled his goblet from a nearby pitcher.
"I don't know what that was, but it sure felt amazing. I thank you for it. In a moment, I will toast to your good health and to the beginning of a beautiful friendship."
Before Hagar could hold up his goblet to cheer Nathan, Amelia burst back into the main hallway with tears in her eyes. Nathan frowned and held up a hand to Hagar before racing over to see what the matter was with his sister. "Amelia, what's wrong? Did something happen?" Amelia tried her best to mask her tears from her brother as she hid behind a pillar to avoid any prying eyes. Finally, she met Nathan's concerned gaze and sighed. "No, brother, it's nothing. The High Lord Lightstone and his wife were nothing but cordial with me. But then they told me the truth about Sir Ian, about how he's already engaged, and there's nothing he can do about it." Nathan sighed. At least nobody had bullied or harmed her. In many ways, it was noble of the Lightstones to admit the truth to her, and not seek to hide the situation, since her interest in Sir Ian was so obvious. "I'm sorry, sis. You shouldn't have to go through that. It's just not fair. I wish I could speak to Bella Godrickson myself. Perhaps, if I could just explain to her the situation, I don't know." Amelia broke down once more, sobbing into her hands as Nathan gently rubbed her back and tried his best to calm her down. Before Nathan could think of anything else to say, the bard's music abruptly ended. An attendant of House Lightstone dropped his trumpet to his side and declared loudly for the entire room to hear, "Lords and ladies, please take your seats. Lady Donna Lightstone's birthday ceremony is about to begin."